Yes guys, what's going on? Hashtag Shuri here. Welcome back to another video on the Hashtag United esports channel. Here today, ladies and gentlemen, we have got ourselves another installment of this sort of best players in each position, sort of little mini series. Here today, we have got the midfielders. If you guys haven't seen the previous episode, we obviously did some defenders before. However, since then, obviously, the game has changed a fair bit. We've had quite a few promos, including like the Festival of Football, the Summer Stars promo, etc, etc. And we've got some absolutely juiced out cards, which we're going to be going through in this video, guys, to see sort of the best midfielders in the game. And I would hope that a lot of you guys have got these sort of players in your teams. Now, one quick thing to mention is this is being filmed the day before the footies promo is starting. Obviously, we're not 100% sure if it's going to be teams or it's going to most likely be the sort of voting system that they've done the last few years. Obviously, we've had a bit of voting to do so far. If you guys do enjoy the video, drop a like and also subscribe to the Hashtag United esports channel. We're going to have the content flowing out very, very soon, especially with the fact the new FIFA is going to come around quicker than we expect. I promise you on that. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on any content. And without further ado, you guys know how it is. Let's jump straight into the team and look at the best midfielders on the end game of FIFA 21. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, and into the midfielders we go. Now, we have got what I believe to be one of the craziest sets of players I've ever seen in FIFA. Now, I'll be honest, the Euros has been on the last month. I can't say I've played too much FIFA in the last month. However, some of the promos that have come out and some of the cards we have got now, starting off with the main man, Calvin Phillips here, is just honestly absolutely ridiculous. I have never seen this many cards that like have almost all 90 stats in the game. Anyway, I'm absolutely rambling on at this point, but first player in the team, sort of the same as last time in the defenders video. We've got about 11 players, basically almost a starting 11, obviously not the actual positions because they're all midfielders, but yeah, of sort of the best 11 midfielders that I would say are the best for you guys to use in your teams, whether that be for links, obviously down to how good the player is as well. Starting off, we've got a 94 rated Calvin Phillips here, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have tried a lot of these, but I'm telling you guys, these are the sort of the best midfielders in the game at this point, and they're all obviously end game players. I mean, we are literally in the middle of July right now, but anyway, I'm absolutely rambling on. Calvin Phillips, to start things off, he's just an absolute well-rounded god, and to be honest, most of the players are in this video. I might start sounding like I'm rambling on a lot, but absolute England hero from the Euros. Medium high work rates, 5'10", definitely a player more like a CDM in your team, if you know what I'm trying to say. Like, he's obviously well-rounded, he can get it forward, you know, with 87 pace and 88 shoot, he can get forward for you, but trust me, there's a lot of players in this video that can provide that for you, that type of thing. But Phillips, obviously, yeah, has some great links, some great players in the game, being English and from the Premier League, that type of thing. And then just look at his in-game stats. Like, I mean, it's all just an absolute joke with these types of players. You definitely want to put like a shadow on him, I would say, or something, or maybe even if you wanted to just go all well-rounded central midfielder, like a Rude Hullet type job, you might want to put a Hunter on and that type of thing. But to have a Calvin Phillips with 4-star skill moves is absolutely quality, by the way. So that is sensational. That's player number 1 in the team. Now, these are kind of ranked off who I'm going to go from like worst to best out of the 11th, but I mean, they're all absolutely ridiculous. So you know what I'm saying. Next up in the squad, we have got ourselves Locatelli. Now, Italian player. How annoying from the final. But gotta say, as a FIFA card, what a card this is. He's literally 150,000 coins or something like that. 4-star skills once again. Obviously, we're missing the weak foot a little bit. That's why these types of players are kind of a little bit lower on the list, if you guys know what I'm saying. But we've still got an unbelievably well-rounded card. Like, look at that dribbling, that 95 defending, 96 passing, along with some absolutely unbelievable in-game stats to go along with it. Look at like the 94 stamina as well. You can never underrate that on a centre midfielder, how good stamina is, obviously not having to take them off. Obviously, we're very late into the game. You want to have fun with these players, and trust me, these types of players will provide a lot of fun to you. So Locatelli, and he links to another great player as well that we've got in this team. I'm sure you guys could potentially guess him. But Wijnaldum next into the team, ladies and gentlemen. 4-star, 4-star. So we've made that tiny little upgrade in the weak foot department here. 4-star skills, 4-star weak foot. 5'9", obviously he's not the tallest, but this is really like a CM. Now, I know it says CM, but this is really a central midfielder in a 4-4-2 that you're looking at, ladies and gentlemen. And we've got just really well-rounded stats again. I guess some of them aren't high 90s, you know, like 89 pace, 90 shooting, 90 defending, 90 physical. It's not high 90s or anything, but it's just consistent across the board. And the dribbling being as high as it is, you could obviously be a cam. A lot of these players can basically play anywhere with these types of stats. It's absolutely ridiculous, especially some of them as we go further into it. But one thing that's also worth mentioning as well, guys, is that there's no like SBCs in this team. I've got one on the bench as basically like an out there option, but I didn't want to put SBC cards into this in case you guys hadn't done them, if that makes sense. So just a little disclaimer there. Now, Bruno, we're not going to talk about him too much because at the end of the day, we've had this card for absolutely ages at this point of the year, but the playoffs has just happened recently for the Xbox and PS4. He's still getting used in people's teams at this point of the year, and he came out of Team of the Year. Obviously, he's a Team of the Year card, but I think Bruno's still an absolutely unbelievable central midfielder. You probably want to put him as more of a cam. Maybe if he's not a cam, he's going to be in a 4-4-2, more of your sort of attacking central midfielder, and then you might have someone, you know, dropping back, maybe a Calvin Phillips or something like that. You know what I'm saying, ladies and gents? But a seriously well-rounded card. It'd be nice if Bruno had a 5-star of one of the sorts, so maybe that's why he's a little bit further down this list. But like I said, all these players are still just absolutely ridiculous, whoever you use. Basically, the point is, if one of these 11 from this team that I'm showing you guys here aren't in your team, then I'd be a bit worried, especially because the first few I showed you are actually like quite cheap as well, so you can probably just slot them straight in, mate. But anyway, I'm going into accent mode, which means we need to move on to the next player, who is going to be Goretzka. Obviously, an absolutely, the first, I think, in this video, all 90s player, which is something that we've actually got on quite a few cards this year now. But yeah, he links very well to the next player we'll be showing you as well. But yeah, 4-star, someone who's 6'2" as well. You could play Goretzka at centre-back. You could put him absolutely anywhere. He's just a serious player. The agility is something that you're obviously lacking a little bit because of obviously being 6'2" and that type of thing. But I suppose it could be worse. 87 agility is still very good. But yeah, one thing that I would say about Goretzka is why I put him like quite high up on this list compared to other players is the fact that you can get a perfect link to this young man, Kimmich. What an absolute fantastic player. Now, Kimmich with 4-star skills, that is weird. Like, I think I did use Kimmich during Team of the Season on one of my series, but I think he only had 3-star skill moves. So having a Kimmich who can do cricketer cancels and that type of thing, obviously, that's another thing that I'm boosting up in this video, guys, is like, depending on whether players have the skill moves as well. That's like, you know, like Calvin Phillips at the start, Locatelli, that type of thing. But Kimmich, his lowest stat is 92 on his base card, which is ridiculous. Him as a CM, he can do absolutely anything for you. He can sit back more for you, or he can go forward, that type of thing. So I would imagine you just have him as a really balanced CM in a 4-4-2, in a 4-3-1-2, any of the formations that are working, 5 back, let's be honest, that type of thing. But yeah, you could obviously get a perfect link with Kimmich and Goretzka, get lovely chemistry sorted out, and then you're just chilling for the other side of the team, and you can go to completely different league, that type of thing. So that's why I've kind of put these together. I know Kimmich is right mid, but you just switch him in-game to a centre midfielder if you guys know what I'm saying. Next up in the squad, we have got Frankie de Jong. Now, still, even this far into the game, obviously he's a TOTS card, and all these other cards have come out, I would have to rank him so highly. Like, from what I've used, I've still seen him being used in playoffs, etc. And he could potentially be used at the World Cup, I'm sure. He's just an absolute fantastic card. 5'11" as well. He feels taller than that in game, by the way. He's one of them players. I think de Jong, like, obviously there is some cards that have better stats than this. Obviously his stats are still amazing, but he's one of them players that just plays above his card stats, if that makes sense. It just feels that way. He had a really good TOTS card last year, and this year's is just as good, to be fair. 99 stamina as well. And like, look at that, like 97 interceptions. Like, heading accuracy is what brings down his defending a lot there at 90. It could probably be more like 92 or 93, that type of thing. So it probably makes the card look a little bit worse, but he's just absolutely sensational. One of my favorite players that I've used this year, for sure, especially in my Road to Glory series that I was doing over Team of the Season. Whew. Come on, Alex, just take a breath. Next up, we have got ourselves Luka Modric, who, to be fair, I think it was FIFA 19 had the best card I've probably ever used in any FIFA for like well-rounded as a player, if that makes sense. I remember using it at FIFA 19 playoffs, and he's just an absolute joke. But yeah, let's get into the stats. Just look at them dribbling stats, ladies and gentlemen. It just does not make any sense what is going on there. Along with just all 90s across the board. 90 physical as well, along with 99 stamina is absolutely quality. 98 jumping as well. 99 interceptions, 96 standing tackle, 91 slide tackle. They're like all the important defensive stats there. Locked in, loaded. 87 defensive awareness. Don't get me wrong, it could be a little bit better, but the heading accuracy is the only orange stat on Modric's card, which just looked absolutely ridiculous. So he is a serious player. And again, some of these players, guys, like the reason they're high up is because obviously Modric can link to, you know, Varane's Team of the Season, Valverde's Team of the Season, that type of player. Like, so obviously in terms of like the best players for each position, that's what probably puts them higher up on the list as well, how well they can link to other players. If that makes any sense, Mike. But I'm doing accents again, which means it's time to move on to the next player. And we have got ourselves the first sort of player who basically, I don't think I'd have put him into this list had he not had the 5-star, 5-star upgrade. But now that he's had this 5-star, 5-star, he is just absolutely ridiculous. Now, one thing obviously with Verratti that is a bit of a problem is 5'5". Like, I mean, they're small, and then like, hello? You just can't see him. But no, I'm joking. I'm only taking the mic. But you know what I mean. 5-star skills, 5-star weak foot. Let's look at the good things here. Them dribbling stats are just an absolute disgrace. Along with just all these other stats. You could play Verratti up front. Absolutely no problem. He'd be fine. Now that he's 5-star, 5-star, he could go anywhere. You'd probably want to play him as more of a cam anyway, because look at all the other stats compared to the defending and physical. They're slightly lower and they're still 90 rated. So it's absolutely ridiculous. You can literally link him to Neymar, and then you could link him to Locatelli as well in centre midfield and make a little hybrid there, that type of thing. Sorry, I know I was really original putting Neymar into a hybrid squad, but you guys know what I'm saying. And now we're going to move on to the last two big players of the team, ladies and gents. First up, we have got ourselves Vieira. Now, I'm sure you guys can predict who is coming last in this team, because he is just the best centre midfielder card I've looked at ever on FIFA. But Vieira, I probably would, in my head, put him at first place, just out of the fact that he's 6'4", medium high. He's an absolute unit in centre midfield, CDM. But I couldn't not put the person in first place who's in first, which I'm sure you guys could probably guess at this point who it is. But quickly on Vieira, he's only, by the way, look what I bought him for, right? I literally bought him for 6 million coins, and now he's about 2.3 mil, 2.4 mil, something like that. But yeah, to be fair, I have barely logged on the game, so I don't know what I'm expecting. But we are more talking about the Vieira card. We all know this has been a ridiculous card in the game. It would have been nice if they'd have made Vieira like in icon swaps or something for the end of the game, but obviously he is a very sought after player, so I kind of understand it, but he is just an absolute joke. And ladies and gentlemen, we just know with Vieira, with the links as well, he can link to literally everybody being that icon, give players like Mbappe the strong link that he needs in potential hybrid squads. You guys know what I'm saying. But into the big man, the main man, here he is, Acuna. Jesus on toast, ladies and gentlemen. This is the best looking card I have ever seen on FIFA ever. And very similarly to Modric, he's got that 70 heading accuracy, but then other than that, we're just absolutely flying in every other stat. To have 94 shooting as the lowest stat on a base card is just absolutely ridiculous. And I used Acuna actually in game right when this card first came out. I'm not sure what rating it was. It might have been 94 or 95 or something like that. And what the card has come out to be now is just ridiculous. I've said this in videos all year, like on my own channel as well, guys. Like, I'm sure you all know this at this point of the game, but 5-star skills and 5-star weak foot together as a combination is just absolutely priceless on a player. So to have that along with these stats, Acuna can genuinely go anywhere on the pitch. I would say putting him at centre mid obviously makes the most sense, but if you want to whack him up front, I would say that is definitely an option, 100%. But I suppose this is a midfielders video, so that's what we should be going to sort of aim for there. Now, obviously, Acuna's not as good for links, but it's still, you know, in La Liga, he's still Argentinian, so he can strong link to Messi, and then a weak link to loads of great players in La Liga, if you know what I'm saying. But he could not go at first place, if you know what I mean, ladies and gentlemen. Like, that is just the most ridiculous card I have ever seen. Jesus Christ. And then on the bench as well, we have got ourselves Hullet and Florenzi. Now, Florenzi, we may as well have a little touch on Florenzi. I would literally have put him probably at 2 or 3 in this team had he not been an SBC. But because he's an SBC, I'm sure a lot of you guys might not have done him, especially because, obviously, when he was first the SBC, we did not have the 5-star skills and we did not have the 5-star weak foot on him. That is for sure. But the card he's come out to be now, definitely one of the best players in the game. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's used, you know, at the World Cup or anything like that, because he's an absolutely ridiculous player. Hullet can't not go as like an honourable mention in this, like, best players in each position, midfielders. But it's just the fact he's still so expensive, that type of thing, that you just think to yourself, Jesus. And to be fair, a lot of players have kind of overtaken Hullet this year. I think in previous years, a lot of us pros have thought Hullet has always been better than Vieira because, you know, of the 4-star skills, the 5-star weak foot is massive on like a CM. But Vieira this year, I think a lot of the pros have started to prefer over Hullet. I feel like Hullet's defensive stats have been found out a little bit more this year, but he still had to get a mention. He is literally the creator of the Hullet gang, obviously, the all over 80 stats. But to be fair, Modric in FIFA 19, I'm pretty sure, was the start of a player all over 90, and it's sick that Modric has got another one. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is the squad of sort of all the best players. And as I mentioned during at some point in this video, if you don't have one of these players in your team, I'm very, very concerned because they're just the best midfielders in the game. But if you guys did enjoy this video and find it helpful, make sure to drop a like and also subscribe to the channel. channel. Leave a comment down below if you guys have got any plans to use any of these players, or if you have used them, what sort of success you've had them. Well, I hope success and not success, if that makes any sense. But another video will be coming out of this as well. We'll be doing an attackers episode, which we'll obviously record sort of after the footies promos come out as well. So hopefully that'll add a few little cards to it, and we'll be able to see some even more greater players in the game to link up for you guys. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you all have a fantastic day. We'll catch you all in the next one. And of course, don't forget to hashtag it.